Can you really improve your pronunciation and accent if you don't live in an English-speaking country? Let me show you an example. It's a person who spent decades in the US, and let's look at her accent and pronunciation.
So I turn around, and there is a blonde, blue-eyed guy, and he said, I'm so sorry, my name is Donald Trump, and I can see the girls you are looking for the table. And I turned to my girlfriend and said, I have a good news and bad news. What is the good news? You're going to get a table real fast. What is the bad news? This fellow behind me is going to go and sit with us.
Maybe you know her. This is Ivana Trump, Donald's first wife. And she spent most of her life in the US. And she always kept a very noticeable Eastern accent. And now this is not about judging anyone's accent or laughing at someone. It is totally fine to keep an accent as it is. But this is just a real-life example showing you that living in an English-speaking country alone doesn't automatically mean that your pronunciation and accent will change. Because this is a common misconception. People say, oh, I cannot improve my pronunciation because I would have to move to an English-speaking country. But I just want to show you that it's not guaranteed. And then, of course, I also know a lot of people who moved to an English-speaking country and their pronunciation and accent changed, and it is very native-like. I also chose this example because she originally came from the Czech Republic, and this is where I'm shooting from. I live in the Czech Republic. So I have never lived in an English-speaking country, and I'm not saying my accent is perfect, but over the years, I have often been told that I sound very natural. Native speakers cannot really tell where I come from, and I believe I am living proof that you can significantly improve your pronunciation and accent even if you don't move abroad. So today I'm going to show you 6 tips, things that really help me improve my pronunciation. And of course, this is my journey and your journey can be completely different, but these things could inspire you, motivate you, and help you. So it's totally up to you. Remember, your journey can be completely different. So the first thing that was a bit of a game changer for me was getting familiar with this. This is called International Phonetic Alphabet. I studied English at university and we had to work with this very often. A lot of people were like, oh, this is boring, why are we doing it? But it really helps because you start focusing on the sounds and not on the letters. You know that in English spelling can be really confusing, unpredictable, and the sounds can be different. For example, let's look at this word. So first of all, you never pronounce B, and it actually becomes O, comb. You comb your hair. It really helped me to remember the right pronunciation and to focus on the sound of the language. So then as I was learning the language, I was always checking these symbols and working with it more. And now I wouldn't like to dig deeper into the details of these symbols because that could take a very long time. But on YouTube or on the internet, you can find lots of great information, plenty of videos, explanations. So just try to explore IPA and get familiar with it. And this video is not just about pronunciation, because these two things, the right pronunciation and listening skills, are linked together. If you remember some words with the wrong pronunciation, you will have difficulty understanding those words. So if you'd like to improve your listening skills as well, to understand native speakers more, you should also probably work on your pronunciation. The second thing is very useful, very practical. It's called shadowing. And this basically means that you are trying to imitate a native speaker, to copy a native speaker. We had to do this at university. It was part of one subject. If you wanted to pass this subject, you had to do this. We had to pick a short video, like 1 minute long maximum, with a native speaker, where he's speaking or she's speaking, and we were supposed to imitate the person, copy the rhythm, the intonation, everything, all the details in the pronunciation. Then we had to record ourselves and then even say it or perform this in front of the whole class. A step out of your comfort zone, but this was really, really helpful. And it was actually really fun. It was even more like acting, not like real studying. So remember that working on your pronunciation can be fun. So again, you can do your research on how to do shadowing or some examples. I highly encourage you to do something like this. And that leads me to another point, number 3, record yourself. I know it's uncomfortable. People don't like doing that because you don't like listening to your own voice. But this is just something you have to overcome. You will get used to it. And then you will hear a lot of things that you know you could improve. And I can feel it even now. Every time I record a YouTube video and I do some editing and I have to listen to myself. So again, initially it was really difficult. And I heard, oh my God, so many things that could have been improved. But I think it's slowly getting better and better as well. So recording your voice really helps from time to time. Number 4, it was one specific thing, a little bit of theory that is called linking. That's something that happens in the English language. And it means the native speakers don't speak like this. They don't separate words. They tend to put them together, some chunks of the language, and that sounds very natural. For example, you don't say dead end, but dead end, or I like him, I like him, I like him. So again, I highly encourage you to go through some theory on linking. Again, plenty of videos on YouTube, because not only does it help you improve your pronunciation, but it also helps you, or it really helped me to understand native speakers better when they speak fast. This helped me understand what they do in the language. So just don't underestimate a little bit of theory as well. Number 5 was understanding stress. Stress is when you emphasize one part of the word. For example, photographer, photographer. The second syllable, photographer, is emphasized, it's stressed, and you have to focus on that. Which syllables are stressed? For example, I used to mispronounce this word for a very long time as a student. I just used to say colleague. But then I get some feedback and I was told to always say colleague, colleague, the first syllable. Because if you don't keep the right stress, the right syllable, things are gonna sound a little off. And then when you have more words and the stress is off, it's not gonna sound good. So stress, again, something to focus on. And my last piece of advice is get feedback. I used to do a lot of self-study, but we all have some blind spots, things we don't notice, we are not aware of. And a good teacher or a good voice coach or someone could quickly spot them, give you a few tips, and these small adjustments could make a difference. Even maybe the position of your jaw or tongue or lips, it can really make a difference. For example, a common check mistake, so where I'm right now, a lot of learners, they struggle with the difference between the, and w. And for example, they would say very well, but there is a difference. You have the, very, and then you have well, and you completely change the position of your lips. So sometimes when I show this to my students, click, and immediately that helps because they were just not aware of it. And it's something that can be fixed very quickly. My main message is, if you're worried that you will never improve your pronunciation because you can't move to an English-speaking country, don't worry. Don't believe that. Living abroad can certainly help, but it's not the only path. With the right techniques, consistent practice, some relevant quality feedback, you can make tremendous progress wherever you live. And especially these days, as the internet offers countless possibilities, online sessions, videos, materials. So we're lucky to live in this day and age. And of course, I'd love to hear from you. Well, where are you watching from? And what is your experience? Have you ever tried any of these things? Have they helped? Well, if you think you find some value in this video and you find it helpful, I just kindly ask you to give me some feedback, either like or subscribe, because this way we can spread this information completely for free. It can be your way of saying thanks, and this video can reach more people and they can have access to tips like these. And I hope this helps you again speak beautiful English.